Today I want to share with you why you should skip on the Ninja Creami and get this ice cream maker instead. I'm Rebecca from the blog and YouTube channel Moon and Magnolia, where I share a lot of scratch-made recipes, sourdough ideas, food preservation, inspiration, and a lot about suburban homestead-ish living, as I like to call it. But more importantly than all of those things is ice cream. I want to note that this is not a sponsored video. This is my honest review of both machines. There are affiliate links for these machines in the description box below, but this is not a sponsored video. So we were hoping that the Ninja Creami would be an easy way to make ice cream, but what we found is we didn't like the ice cream from it at all. This is the Kumio ice cream maker with a compressor, and of course this is the Ninja Creami. We have switched gears to the Kumio because this ice cream maker has a compressor and it churns ice cream in a really traditional way that ice cream is made. In my opinion, ice cream has already been perfected, so a new way of making it isn't really necessary, and that's kind of, in my opinion, the problem with the Ninja Creami. This technology is similar to what's called a pacojet, which is a type of machine that is used in industrial kitchens and professional chefs use. But for me, it's not the best way to make ice cream because we actually don't like the way the ice cream tastes at all from it. So the big difference between these two is that the Kumio actually churns the ice cream and freezes it while it's churning. The Ninja, you have to mix the ingredients, freeze it for 24 hours, and then it uses this blade to scrape off the top of the ice cream. So there's no churning involved. And what we found with that is that because there's no churning, the ingredients aren't mixed together and the ice cream is really greasy. I really wanted to like the Ninja, but every single batch of ice cream we made was greasy. I tried everything, reducing the cream, using half and half. We could not get it to not be greasy. And if we took out the fat, then it just wasn't very good. It was just icy instead of ice cream. So we decided to switch to the Kumio with the compressor, and it is awesome. So with the Creami, you have to freeze the ingredients for 24 hours before you can use them. With the Kumio, you mix the ingredients together, pour it right into the machine, turn it on, and then in 45 minutes to an hour, you have ice cream. Honestly, I can live with pre-freezing my ingredients for 24 hours. It's like a slight inconvenience, but it's really not that bad. But the problem is we do not like the ice cream that comes from the Creami. And that's because the ingredients are not churned. The churning emulsifies the ingredients and makes a really creamy, delicious dessert. So this is a much more traditional route for making ice cream. And in my opinion, ice cream has already been perfected. So it doesn't need new technology like the Creami. It might just need new technology like having a churning option with a compressor inside that keeps the ingredients cold and eventually freezes it. And that's what I really, really like about this machine is that it does freeze the ingredients as it churns. And unlike older ice cream makers that do churn, you don't have to refreeze your container. So you can just mix the ingredients, put it in, hit go. When it's done in about 45 minutes, take it out, scoop your ice cream into a different dish, then put more ingredients in, and you can put it right back in. So you can make back-to-back batches of ice cream all day long if you want to without having to worry about pre-freezing anything, whether it's your ingredients or even the container that you would make the ice cream in. There's no water needed, no salt needed. Everything happens right here inside of this machine. So it's truly a set it and forget it. And look, sometimes I just want ice cream. I don't want to go to the store and I don't want to pre-freeze my ingredients for 24 hours. I just want it. Everyone has a little ice cream emergency sometimes. This will give you homemade ice cream really quickly. The other thing that I really don't like about the Creami is that you have to be particular about what ingredients you can use. If you use ingredients that are too hard, it can wear out the motor on the machine and eventually it will break. But with the Kumio ice cream maker with the compressor, you can use any ice cream recipe you want. There are no limitations with it. You can make ice cream, sorbet, gelato, any recipe you find on the internet you want to try out, you can use with this machine, but that is not the case with the Ninja. So there are a lot of limitations with this, whereas with the Kumio, not at all. Also, the Kumio is cheaper than the Ninja. So we got both of these on sale, but this one I think we got for $129 and this one we got for $100. But even without the sale, the Kumio is still cheaper than the Ninja. Now I will say this is an off-market brand of ice cream maker with a compressor. There are much more expensive brands, like Breville makes one that's very similar to this, but it's about $500. So that's very expensive if you're not making ice cream all the time. But if you have the Breville and you've tried it, let me know know in the comments how you feel about it, because I'm really curious to see if you like it. But either way, the Kumio is definitely cheaper than the Ninja. So these are two identical recipes that I made with each machine. So this is coffee ice cream. I made this one with the Kumio about 2 days ago, and this is what's left of the one we made with the Creami that I made about 5 days ago. And you can tell just by color comparison, they look really different, but these are the exact same recipes. And that's because this one is churned and this one is not. It's 9:30 in the morning while I'm doing this, so I guess we'll just call this my third cup of coffee. I'm here for it. So you can see here, this is nice ice cream, scoops easily. Really good. I don't know why I never thought about eating coffee ice cream for like my second or third cup of coffee. It's like a huge missed opportunity. And then this is the Ninja. So you can see here, it's hard to scoop out and it kind of flakes. So it doesn't really have like a creamy texture. It's more of a sandy, granulated texture. And they say that you can run the machine multiple times and it'll make it creamier. But one, I don't want to run the machine multiple times. I just want it to work the first time. And two, it has never made the texture any better in my experience. So you can see here, it's just not as good. Let me get another spoonful of the other one and you can see them side by side. So here's 2 spoonfuls of each ice cream. The one here on the left is from the Kumio and this is from the Ninja. And you can just see that the texture looks completely different. So far, the only downfall that I've identified with the Kumio is that the container you make the ice cream in is not scratch resistant. So you just want to make sure you don't use any metal utensils in here, that you're always using plastic or silicone, and that you're not using an abrasive sponge with it. So you just want to make sure you don't scratch it. And honestly, it's really not that big of a deal, but I have a tendency or a lifelong habit of ruining things that are not scratch resistant. I don't know if this is positive or negative for you, but the Kumio does make a bigger batch of ice cream too. So you are limited to this size with the Ninja and you are limited to this size with the Kumio, but you can make a little bit more ice cream with the Kumio. So, I mean, I don't always need more ice cream sitting around, but if you want more ice cream, that's definitely a good thing. I'm gonna make a batch of vanilla ice cream, and this is using the recipe that came right with the Kumio. It's a pretty classic vanilla ice cream. I just wanna show you how easy it is to do this. It's as simple as just mixing the ingredients together. So here I have 320 milliliters of whole milk, 152 grams of granulated sugar, 240 milliliters of heavy cream, and then also 2 to 3 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. I'm using homemade bourbon vanilla. I have a link for that recipe in the description box below. Before adding in the cream, I like to stir in the sugar just to help it dissolve. It'd be unlikely that I would whip the cream using a fork like this, but I just want it to stay in its most natural state possible. So I just give it a little stir, make sure the sugar starts to dissolve, and then just add the other ingredients. And then all we're gonna do is simply pour this mixture right into the container. So now all you do is turn your machine on, take your little bucket of ice cream, put it right into the machine, and put the plastic paddle on. This comes with it. Snap it on. Put the lid right on here. The lid is actually also the motor, which is kind of cool, so it's not anything that you have to keep track of. And then you close it, hit power, go, and you are done. So it is 10:02 a.m. I will come back and let you know how long this took. The ice cream is finished and it took 44 minutes in the machine. And I would say it took maybe 5 minutes to mix the ingredients together in the beginning, and that's probably being a little bit on the conservative side. So it took about 50 minutes total for the ice cream to be made. So to finish this up, all you do is you take off the lid, pull the blade out. This is like my favorite part because you have to lick this, right, in order for it to actually be finished. And then you just take your ice cream and put it into another container. Now I do want to show you the consistency. So when it first comes out of the machine, it is a little soft. It resembles more of like a frozen yogurt or a soft serve ice cream at this point, but once you get it in the freezer and chill it for a little bit longer if you want to, it does harden up into more of a traditional ice cream, but it's still delicious this way. Actually, I kind of prefer it this way over more frozen, but that's totally up to you. So the other thing about this is once the ice cream is finished, it does have a feature where it will keep it cold. So you don't have to get to it right away. So I actually haven't used that yet. So I can't tell you about it because when my ice cream's done, this girl's eating it. But it does have that feature if you want to use it. This is a little pint ice cream cup. I think I got this at Target a couple years ago. So it'll give you an idea of how much ice cream this makes. So that is it. Your ice cream is done. And like I said before, you can either eat it just like this or pop it in the freezer and let it get just a little bit more frozen. And so there you have it. Perfect ice cream that is quick and easy every single time.